Hey guys, welcome back to the Record Room. I am of course your host Tony Giles TG, and I know it's been around a week since my last video, but I have had somewhat of an adventure and then I got sick, but I'm back now, and I'm back and I feel good as well. I will tell you about the adventure on an upcoming video, but for this episode, well, I have something very, very special indeed. My good friends over at Datadiscs, who I've been a fan of since day one, they have been releasing video game scores on vinyl, but of the highest quality. These guys really are the best in the business when it comes to releasing video game music. They released one of, if not my favorite video game score of all time, Shenmue. I have every variant of that record. I have a test precedent for that record. I have the complete Shenmue and I absolutely love it. I still listen to it pretty regular. Well, they reached out to me and they said, hey, we've got something new coming up. It's not a video game score. Would you be interested in taking a look? And of course, I'm not going to say no to that. You know, ordinarily I don't do the sponsored content kind of a thing, but when it's someone like Datadiscs, I know it's going to be good. I know it's probably going to be something that I'm going to end up buying. So I said, okay then. And they said, okay, well, there's a package in the mail to you. And what turned up was Motohiro Kawashima's Acrobatizm and Prepared Wave. This is a double LP, two single LPs in one package. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Motohiro Kawashima, he was the co-composer with Yuzo Koshiro on Streets of Rage 2 and 3, I believe. Two games that I absolutely love. In fact, I adore all of the Streets of Rage video games. I was a Sega kid growing up. I guess I probably still am now. Streets of Rage was unbelievable. Final Fight was one of my favorite games when it came out in the arcade. Didn't have the ability to play Final Fight at home, but when Streets of Rage came out, I was like, hey, this is just as good, if not better. So I became a big Streets of Rage fan. And one of the things about that game, if you've never heard it, all three games have these incredible scores. They really do, 2 and 3 especially. And this is one half of the composing team behind this. And these two albums, they are quite different, but they both live in the same world and they are both absolutely fantastic. The first album, Acrobatism, let me take this out here. Which one is it? It's this one here, Acrobatism. Now this is, the best way to describe this is like, it's electronic music. It could be EDM, it could be glitch, it could be droney, could be ambient in places. It could also easily be an album that someone who is a big fan of Daft Punk can enjoy. And I say that because the first track on side 2, B1, the track Another Visitor, as soon as I dropped the needle, I was like, okay. And you know, there's a vocal in it, and I kind of, by the end of the song, I was like, I need to listen to this again. It was so good. You know, in a previous life, your old pal TG here, I used to be a DJ long time ago. And I did play dance music. And for me, I was just like, hang on a second. I could easily play this in a club. This is not outside the realms of being an absolute club banger. And there are various other tracks like that on the album Acrobatism. It's such a good album. And then coupled with that, you do get the album Prepared Wave. Now this one came out a few years ago. This one does have more of that kind of glitchy sound. I don't know what the kids call to it these days, but both of these albums are now streaming on Bandcamp. So if you would like to go and take a listen, be your own judge. But for a completely out of the blue package, this is fantastic. It comes in a double wide sleeve and it does come in 2 polyline sleeves, which, you know, I'm a sucker for a polyline sleeve. I like it when the record company takes care of their records. And one of the things I saw on the press release for this, Datadisc had mentioned, you know, this could quite possibly be their best sounding albums to date. And I thought, well, everything you've done so far sounds great, so how could it possibly be good? But these are fantastic. I do clean everything before it hits the turntable. It's just my OCD-ness. But I mean, these pressings were whisper quiet, and the depth and the fidelity, like second to none. I was so blown away by how good this album is. I will leave a link down in the description, so if you would like to go and take a listen, grab a copy of this for yourself. I highly, highly recommend doing so. And I would say this, if data discs are going to start doing more of this, sign me up. I'm all for it. I want to hear more music like this. That's it for this episode of The Record Room. Have you heard this? Are you a fan? Have you listened to the Streets of Rage scores, but you were unfamiliar of the solo work of Mr. Kawashima, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to go and check that out? Drop me a comment down below. On your way out, maybe leave me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Not that that means anything, it's an arbitrary number. It's just, yeah, I like round numbers. That's all I will say. Anyway, until next time, stay gold and spin those blackest circles.